Imagine a world where you're allowed to play any deck you want within Magic the Gathering Arena, get some wins, and still have fun without being a meta slave. Well, in today's video, we're going to help you accomplish just that. Bant Plot is the name of the game. And welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you for taking the time to support the channel. My name is Hello Good Game, and I'm pleased to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena Deck Guide video. We'll be breaking down in depth our deck list, discussing these strategies as well as synergies, providing you with a deeper understanding of how to pilot this deck effectively. Furthermore, we will demonstrate in our ranked gameplay footage against the best decks as well as players in-game, concluding with our deck review, channel news, and everything else groovy we could possibly think of. If you want to help out, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, join that community Discord, drop by, say hello, introduce yourself. The link is in the description below, as well as the deck list. As always, kick back, relax, and let's take a look at the deck.
It's a new lap record!
Here we are with Bant Plot. It should be more of a Bant Exile, but the new mechanic is Plot, so that's what draws our focus here. We will also be using Adventure. You could also use potentially Discover. Okay, so these are ways for us to cast from Exile to capitalize on Kellen the Kid, a new 3-mana 3/3 with flying and lifelink. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you can put a land card from your hand into the battlefield, which is great. It allows you to free cast, which is crazy good. But even ramping, is a good second here for us as well. So cards from Exile to trigger Kellen is kind of, what we're doing here with this build. There are a few different ways for us to accomplish that. First and foremost, it will be the Plot mechanic, Fblthp range for 3 mana as a 1/1 with War 2, allowing us to look at the top card of our library at any time, and we can plot the top card of our library if it's a non-land, which is really cool, 4 mana equal to its mana value, which is pretty decent. And then we can reduce that through Doc Olorok, Grizzled Genius, 2 mana, 2/3. Plotting cards from your hand cost 2 less, and then spells you cast from your graveyard or from Exile cost 2 less as well. Pretty decent if we're plotting from our hand. We can still plot from the top of our library, no reduction only from our hand, but still worth mentioning. And also the adventure cards, right? Spells you cast from your graveyard or from Exile for 2 less. The plotted cards cast for 0, so you're not really reducing those, but there are many times where they're not plotted, they're just there as the adventure, the residual adventure, the creature side of it, of course, for you to reduce later. A good example of that's going to be the Virtue of Loyalty, right? You can bring this down from 5 mana to 3 mana. Very, very cool, just, as a general reduction here for us. So, that's kind of the core of the deck. We'll also, on that note, utilize Jace Reawakened for 2 mana as a 3 loyalty planeswalker, unable to cast it on your first, second, or third turns. +1, draw a card, then discard a card. +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. This is very good because now we're plotting from our library, we're plotting from our hand, and of course, some cards just organically have plot themselves. But this is, for everything that doesn't typically. -6, which is really cool for us in this build. Until the end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, you may choose new targets for it and copy it, which is pretty cool, right? So we will be stacking cards into the plot where we can cast them for 0, use this ability, and then copy multiple spells, right? Because we're banking that value up in plot, building to 6, -6, and then all of these plot cards copy themselves, which is really good. On that note, we will, kind of break the game here a little bit with a Bramble Familiar. I'm sure you're familiar. A 2-mana 2/2 that can tap to add 1 green mana. Pay 2, tap, discard a card to return it to your hand, which we'll probably be doing in this deck. And the fetch quest can be plotted because the Familiar is only 2 mana, and then when we cast it, we get to choose, and it's still free. So, for 0 mana, hopefully copied with Jace's ability, mill 7, then put a creature, enchantment, or land from among the 7 milled cards into the battlefield. That will allow us to stack, some of the big boys in play and just grab general advantage. Okay? So that's really cool. We can plot it again from the top of our library with the range, from our hand with Jace. Kellen is here as another adventure for the deck. Tail the Suspect, 2 mana as the adventure. Investigate, makes the clue. Play an additional land, helps us ramp. Pretty decent. And then it's a 3/4 with Flying and Vigilance. When it attacks, destroy a target artifact. If we control it, draw, which is not terrible. The 4 mana adventure from Exile is pretty decent, right? With Kellen, if you get there. I like the flying alongside Kellen as well. It's a Kellen also. The Prodigy and the Kid, I suppose. Their flying is what sets them apart and why we're really running them here. On that note, we will be utilizing the Dust Animus. It has plot, which is great. Free casting it, copying it, hopefully with Jace. And then, ideally, hopefully on top of a Railway Brawler, which also gets copied by Jace. So you can see kind of how this all compounds together. Plotting for 2, it's a 2/3 with flying, but if we control 5 or more untapped lands as it enters the battlefield, it will do so with 2 +1/+1 counters on it and a lifelink counter. This is great. Then we'll also have the Brawler that plots for 4 as a 5 mana 5/5 with reach and trample. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. That will be after post +1/+1 counters are provided. So this is going to be a 4/5 that goes to an 8/10. Hello! And, if you have Jace, like I said, this is copying itself. One's a 5/5. The next is a 10/10. Then this is a 16/20, and you get 2 of them. LOL. So, that's kind of what we're doing there. Of course, the Virtue is decent. Creates the 2/2 for 2. Then you can cast it for 5 from Exile. It's going to untap your creatures at the end of your turn and then put a +1 counter on them as well, which is pretty cool. The Whale on that note as well. 6 mana, 6/6, Flash War 2, entering tapped unless it's cast on your turn. No flash block with it. And instant speed for 2 as the adventure. The owner of target attacking creature will that you don't control puts it on top or bottom of their library, which is decent, right? So early interruption. Late game, interaction there for us as well with, the big body, as well as the ability to build in strength turn after turn and untap, which is, quasi-vigilance. Pretty cool. We have some additional interaction within the build, not just, the flash blocker with the 2/2 or the bounce back, but also Fading Hope, 1 mana, instant speed, return target creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, scry 1. This is good if it's not attacking, right? The Whale gets attackers, this gets non-attackers, get lost, destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Its controller will create 2 map tokens for 2 mana at instant speed. That's going to take care of any problems that we can't deal with, right? Obviously, we should have advantage within our creature base. We shouldn't need to deal with creatures mid or late game, as we should, like I said, have the advantage. It's just early on where we might not have all the interaction to survive, and that should help us get into, turn 4, turn 5, where we can really start to, get full stride. Lands, the Empire, as always, Who Endures, as always, and then the Soaring City, I'm sure, is here. We are not running any creature lands. We are just running duels for consistency. It's something that we might look at in the future, but for now, we're just looking to get a good win rate with the deck, and honestly, it's not bad. We're doing very well and having just a ton of fun with it, right? It's not something that we would typically play. It looks fairly weak against field wipes. However, thanks to the plot mechanic, we can really dodge a lot of that, right? Where, you know, if they use the field wipe, then it's like, you know, 1, 2, 3 maybe cards from plot to rebuild immediately after. You can identify whether or not your opponent will have that type of interaction based on the cards they're playing earlier on in the game. And if they are, then you hold back, right? Stack some of that value. If they use it, then you put some in, not at all again, and you try to, you know, rebuild some side value, and it becomes, you know, a little bit of a dance like that. So keep in mind as you play, and I'll try to demonstrate that as well for you within today's gameplay, which we are conveniently ready to start. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, become a YouTube member, join the community Discord, but most importantly, kick back, relax, and let's play some Magic. All right, our opponent's going to go first. That's okay. Consider Surveil draw. The Canyon Crab. Canyon. You hear that snap? You hear that clap? This thing is big, dude. Brawler over. Is that my card? Interesting. What are you doing over there, bro? I'm playing my deck. I don't appreciate it. What's that? Giraffe. Okay, the plot makes double casting easy. Not bad. I'd say let's just double down on a virtue with the adventure and then the loyalty. This is quite good though. There it is. Now here comes the second cast on top of it. Just going to trigger it. Nice. On your turn other than your first. So they could do it additional times. Okay. Look at that field state. With a Lily. You're a legend. I was thinking we'd have 7 mana. What? Why not just block it with the Siren?
This loss
Still gonna hold this for 7. She stops the moment I turn the camera on. How does she know when it goes on? There she goes. Right, it's the best content to watch because whenever, you know, the rate of play is slow, we get the cat. It's fantastic. Maybe that's why I'm able to like successfully play Magic. It's just you have to have a cat to be able to cope with Arena. Oh, here we are. Liliana for 0.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault.
Who's our token? Our Toucan Sam Yule. Really? Coward. You want to attack me? Oh, that's really good. Draw a discard, dude. Canyon. Canyon. Deduce is a good card too. Why would you discard Deduce? All right. We're going to do a familiar adventure there, which is quite fun. Should pay. All right. King 7. Going first. Land looks nice. Let's get Doc out on 2. Removal this turn, hopefully. Oh, or not. Let's see where we get. Lost on the range, allowing us to plot from the top. Doc reducing plot cast from hand. Lily with the sack on Doc.
When I win, you're telling me what you know about the Raven. I've always
Jace out. Plot the Familiar. Take down Lily.
Oh, that's my cue to leave.
A second one? Wow. That's not bad.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like
I
me.
see you. Liliana's such a good card,
Haven't you
right?
ever heard of personal space?
Let's see what we got. I honestly don't mind the Familiar, but the Brawler's probably best, right? Looking for that land, I think it's important. Now do we leave Lily to discard? Probably a field wipe is around the corner also, right? one would assume. I'm gonna take it.
Isn't how things were supposed to go.
And now, you know, we're not overexposed. Just like single targets are fine. Something you would expect, just not going 2 for 1, right? 5 in hand. Oof. 2 tokens. 1/1s for now. We have trample though, right? Whoa, okay. They're just looking for next turn. Taking it 6 out of our reach. That's not bad. I need to find a land for that brawler.
I'll find what I need soon.
If we can -6 on Jace,
Do not test me.
preferably with a land on top as well, we're going to be in a good spot. Yeah, and I don't ever want to overexpose myself, even though we may be tempted to. It would be just the saddest thing. They have to be a Sunfall player.
I bring
All these planeswalkers, are you kidding me?
You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
I don't think that's going to stop us so much. Oh, good for you. Nice. No land. I don't want to fold my whole field into a Sunfall. So play this. Swing on Ashiok still. Plot again. They can hit Jace. Maybe we should have defended with the Brawler. I'm not going to play the other Brawler. That would be overexposure to a Sunfall. I'd rather take 4 damage from, you know. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's really good. They get a token copy of it too.
You, then your ghost.
That's so cool, White Rhino. The White Rhino event, have you ever heard of it?
Not my way. You fight
It's
for
true.
me now.
It's like a black swan, but a white rhino. Yeah, okay. I should have went for it. Imagine not getting a land there. So now we're forcing a Sunfall. Which still is bad. Oh man, Sunfall's so good. That Rhino's quite good. Both Rhinos quite good. That's crazy. Who would sacrifice their Kaya like that? They must have another Kaya? Bro, you're wild. Or they just have single target and they're very much planning on bashing me. Oh! What? Oh, Lord. I have misplayed this drastically. Oh, that's really good.
This will be child's play.
Oh, no. Well, they don't have the untapped land, at least.
Everyone hates violence. Stay alert.
Let's look for a better card. We find it. Toss the land. I mean, I'll take them.
This city's rotten as ever.
Three cards that we don't know about. They probably just play the Vein Ripper and use a field wipe, like a depopulate, you know? Wow, 12-11, that's effed. Crazy. I was being coy because I was expecting a Sunfall the whole time. Just Planeswalkers, dude. They have to still run Sunfall. Vein Ripper, though? That's wild. Unexpected. I have nothing, dude. Why? Isn't that really bad? I don't know. I'll grab a white source. It's not a Murex. It's, you know, it's not a creature land. Why bother? It's not like I only have one of these specific sources, like. And now you've lost, you know. What do I know, though? Bounce this back. Replot it is what I should have done. More planeswalkers, such great value. $30 in mine, 37 in theirs. Quite the decision. Game plan, bore opponent to death. Yeah. Bro, what are you doing? Interesting. I'm gonna toss the land. Bring this back. We should have done that the turn before. Wonder if we keep the land in hand. They could kill the Brawler. I don't think I'm into that. This is a good attack to gain that life back, though, right? I'm going to keep the land to discard. Really good card advantage here, looking at 2. They have 16 in exile, keep in mind. Holy my yarn. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's Remavel. 4 cards in hand. They have Murex up. Single target on Dust Animus. I'm pretty sure. Exile too. Rock and roll. Wedding announcement. Interesting. No block. Big hit. Nice. That's pretty good. If only we had more. I guess. I think we have to go Brawler. And then this will be doubled as well, right? They're going to be 8/8s. We swing on Ashiok. All right. They just want the draw, right? Reasonable. I think they just need like a field wipe to win. This Ashiok draw's probably winning them the game. I don't want to say it out loud yet, but from where I'm sitting, it's kind of what it looks like. 4 in hand. There's no way they don't have the right card. I don't even want to like really block it because they just are going to bring it back. I mean, we have a lot of damage in play, right? There's like 42 damage here. They've got blockers, yes. What you got, Willis? Tapping out pre-combat. Interesting. 3 mana now. No turn. Wow.
I'll find what I need.
Fblthp. What is there to grab? Does this grab planeswalkers too? I'll have a heart attack. Just creature. They don't have anything. My Kellen. My Dust Animus, I guess, would be best. Or even Fblthp. That's not the end of the world. It's a good game. I guess Fblthp might be the best. Or Kellen, I don't know. It's kind of messed up. Fblthp gives card advantage. Kellen's just good. I don't think there's another Rhino in there, is there? That would be saddening. I think they're being exiled. They could take a Bramble. Or the Dust Animus, maybe. Even Kellen, I suppose. Well, the other Kellen. Okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's a crazy match. Holy. What a world. You know? They just need a field wipe and they win. Like a depopulate, right? Vanquish the Horde would be ideal. Cast it for 2 mana. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a great card. My Rhino is saving the day for them. Like, if they didn't get our Rhino with Kaya, we would have been able to trample through so long ago because they wouldn't have had the toughness to sit here with us. So they're like, man, they did it. They got really lucky. That seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't even see that attack. Ah. That's my bad. We could have blocked that easily. My bad. That's pretty good too. We should have done this maybe earlier. A lot of moving pieces here. A lot of moving parts. I literally did not see this attacking. I was like, oh, Jay, just this token. You sneaky! That's a sneaky vampire over there. Really? Hey, thanks for the support, homie. I forget about this sometimes too, but at this point in the match, I think it's pretty much over. There's no lifelink on this. Good game, no tax. They win. The Ripper beats us with triggers, regardless. It was a really good game of Magic. Whale is a 26. 26 after the Virtue triggers. Should we scoop up? I wanted to let them hit for lethal, because it was a great match. Let's, you know, finish it out. They just have to slam their spacebar. Seems weird. Legendary rule. Why wouldn't you take something that's not? But I don't know. Just for the Vein Ripper trigger. I guess. Waiting and. Imagine being roped while your opponent has lethal. Playing your 15th land. Okay, that's relevant. That's relevant. Ah, man, I don't know. I tried to give them the chance, you know, like, to go out in glory, but if you're not going to take it, you're not going to take it. Like, don't. It's clearly lethal on your end, dude. All right, 3 land. You know, there's some stuff here. I think we can get after it. It's a little slow. We probably won't end up playing on 2. We'll see, though. Maybe we get lucky. Interesting. Less interesting. Looking for our 4th land now. Doc's just a great adventure card, eh? What terrible reality do I find myself in here? Well, I'll tell you. I'll allow it. Don't you. Death Touch is good, you know? Doc, Delphia. Alright, got a 2/2 to block. Who's milling? That's the question. Me? You? I like those lands. Right, like those are pretty good. Sleeves, not lands, sorry. I'm sure you could get lands like that. Glow? Oh man, that's so cool. I'm literally mesmerized. What's up with this though? Shouldn't it all be purple? What's this blue about? Weird. Huh. Nice block, 1 damage. Alright. Doc, you're out first. That's going to reduce this, which is really cool. Draw discard. Toss Kellen. Hit for 2. Now we push up. Virtue of Loyalty for 3 with Doc. Is that just good enough to play by itself? It might be. All right, playing some cards. Sorry, I'm a little distracted today, but we'll get some W's nonetheless, as long as we don't die to this toxic mechanic, which I find to be quite oppressive. By all means, go 1 for 1 with Jace with your Death Touch. Ugh, yeah, that's annoying. It is annoying. Oh, that's not, though. Bramble is out. Kellen to defend. Goes to 4. Death Touch creatures dealt with. They need removal. Don't you dare. Oh, they will dare. From your hand. I'm going to highlight my virtue like it's important. Dang it, Randy! I need that. And then I need those loyalty. Life gain. I do not like that. So they're in a winning position here almost, hey? Nice mill. That's a really good mill. Dang! 2 brawlers? This doesn't have toxic. All right. A free whale? Wow. 7 mana costs the 6 for free. I'm going to London. They're out of here. Bant Plot Adelphia. A lot of adventure here for us as well. The core of the deck remains Plot. How did we do? A lot of interesting games. I tried to include, you know, some of the most original for the YouTube video. Honestly, you know, to beat a mono red deck with life gain that pushes up is like, ah, ha, ha, I got you. But, you know, I like playing new decks, and I like playing against new decks. Is that a crime? You know? Lock me up, ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and goblins. I had a ton of fun today. you know, it feels like you get more, get out the tinfoil, original interactions or matchups when you're running an original deck, right? You run a meta deck, you're going to get a meta deck. You run an original deck, sometimes it feels like maybe you get more of those original builds to play against. And I honestly wish there was a queue that was just that, like no meta decks allowed. It would be fun. Of course, you know, I think with that being said, there's ways to improve this deck so it can compete at that level as well. It kind of holds its own, but, you know, Sunfall is a Sunfall, and Atraxa is an Atraxa. Even if you do deal with it, they still, like, right? So where do we go from here, right? The strengths that I noticed. The -6. If you get that -6 with things in plot, you can absolutely pop off. But maybe we could finish the round on that -6. Now, I know red has the terror, or the haste also probably lies in red. But what could we potentially do in Bant to turn it into a one-turn kill? Or do we absolutely have to run counter magic? It's an option. We could consider it. But I don't want to give them that extra leeway, right? Like when we Jace -6 to copy our spells, which is game winning until they hit us immediately with a Sunfall in rebuttal, right? Ouch. Because you get so much value from it, it's ridiculous. But how could we, and I'm asking all of you, help me out in the comments below, how could we convert that into a win on the same turn? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a magical day. Decklist in the description below. Discord link in the description below via the link tree. And of course, you know, here's some of my ideas. Bonnie Paul, the Vaultborn Tyrant, Titan of Industry, Jin Gataxis, the Inner Sun, Kellen joins up, Outcaster, and the Cage. Cheers. Can't wait to see you soon in the next. Take care. Until then.